The Ash, Lutzi and Susie O'Neill podcast.
I've been watching America's Sweethearts, which is Dallas Cowboys Cheerleaders, the trials and whittling down the cheerleaders to make the team. It's on Netflix at the moment. It's awesome. And we have Jinelle Davidson, who is one of the few Australians who is actually in the show and in the cheerleading squad. Welcome, Jinelle.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
I got into this I kept coming up on my Netflix, watch this. But I was actually surprised, I don't know why I should be, of how athletic and sporty and how much time the athletes put into it. Like, was it a full-time job when you were a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader?
It is 100% full-time commitment. It's technically a half part-time job, but it is absolutely full-time commitment.
Yeah, so were you, I'm just reading up, were you Storm, yeah?
Yeah, so I had my start at Melbourne-born. I was a cheerleader down in Melbourne for 5 years and then made the big leap to go over and chase my dream, trying to become one of America's Sweethearts.
I live on the Gold Coast.
I was lucky enough to go ahead and make it.
That's cool, isn't it?
I live on the Gold Coast, Jinelle, and every year, it seems like every year there's there must be some big cheerleading convention or something like that, and there's literally the whole of the Gold Coast is overtaken for a weekend where it's just like one cheerleading group walking up the Esplanade surface, then another. They practice in this park across the road from our unit, and it's pretty awesome. And what I've noticed is that in the last couple of years especially, this is becoming a juggernaut. It's becoming a real thing. And as Sue's mentioned, a lot of people surprised by the athleticism that you girls have got. Good girls and guys, or just girls? What we got?
Dallas is just females, but you're actually right. I know the one you're talking about in the Gold Coast. It's huge, and I know the one where that's like an all-star kind of tumbling stunt. It's a little bit different to what Dallas style is. It's hugely athletic. They do stunts, tumbling, pyramids, that kind of form. Whereas Dallas Cowboys is what we call a power pom style. When I was on the team, we actually did that style of cheer once a year at one game. We had 50 college cheerleader men come in, and we did stunts and tumbling and all of that for one halftime performance once a year. But now it's what we do on the sidelines is called power pom, and it's pretty much just dance. But the athleticism definitely comes in when you're dancing for 4 hours a game. Game day goes for 11 hours. You rehearse 4 or 5 hours, 7 hours, sometimes more every night for game days. And, that kick line and jump splits is pretty brutal. Plus you're wearing ankle weights, which is those beautiful Lucchese boots as well. So that plays a role too in athleticism, as you've probably seen.
Yeah. It's so competitive to get into it, isn't it? How many does it start? So the whole Netflix premise is you're going through all the trials and they're whittling it down to, I think, a final maybe 12 people in the team. But how many does it start with, and how competitive is that process?
Yeah, it's very competitive. So now they take the auditions start online. So they actually do they accept video submissions now. So there's people that audition from all over the world, which is a pretty incredible opportunity. When I auditioned, you could only audition in person. So I had to fly over, and it was like this big cattle call, and everybody had to turn up on the day, and you had 90 seconds in front of them, and you just, basically they played music and you danced, and that was all you got. And it's either yes or no, back to Australia, or you go through to the next day. And then from there, they dwindle it down, and you keep auditioning for about 3 months.
Oh,
wow.
So I've only been hearing about the series through Susie, Jinelle, but and you said you're following your dream. Is this the end game for most of the girls, or is this the top of the pile? Because from what Susie was saying, that you don't get paid like the footballers get paid. It's a pretty hard slog in that regard. So are you using the I guess the celebrity or the prestige of that to leverage into other areas, like a girl's getting big social media followings, or how's it work that way?
Yeah, I think, look, it's a good point. I think it's definitely evolved a lot. I definitely went over because it was my lifelong dream to make this team. Right. And as you said, it is the pinnacle of cheerleading in the sense of power pom. the styles cheerleading that I grew up doing.
Yep.
So yes, when you want to be the best in this field, I definitely believe that it's the best out there, and it does attract thousands across the world to want to be a part of this team. But it actually comes with money can't buy experiences too, because of what the Dallas Cowboys embody off the field, which is those experiences in the community that you get to be a part of, where you get to actually be a community ambassador, travel to parts of the world that you never would otherwise, visiting military, visiting kids in hospital, really being an ambassador for not only for your team, but for America and for me, for Australia as well. So those experiences are really special too.
Good on you.
And you mentioned the Melbourne Storm. My wife Jodie, she was a cheerleader back in the day for the Gold
Was
Coast
she?
Seagulls. Yeah,
there you go. Okay.
Like when they first
Pretty
came
cool.
At Bishop Park.
when they first came in, no,
Seagulls.
down at Tweed Heads, Gold
Oh,
Coast
right.
Seagulls.
Yeah. Okay.
Bishop Park.
When King Wally was there.
Yeah, where
like
was that?
Jode-
Tweed Heads.
Oh, cool.
Jode was a cheerleader. Is that the way that you recommend to young people that are listening, going, I want to be into the cheerleading gimmick as well, that you get started at an NRL club, or what do you do?
My advice is get into any kind of performing that you love, whether that's dance, whether that's cheer. If you want to do it professionally, any opportunity that you have around you to join, my advice is just get out there and start performing. Do what you love. Follow your passion.
All right. Hey, Janelle, I'm a
That's
bit
really
worried.
cool.
I'm a bit
Nice.
worried, though. You're starting to lose that Aussie accent. Can you see that?
Oh, no.
You've got just the
It'll come back.
smallest amount of
It'll come
America
back.
coming
Do I?
through. In
Do I
that.
have a bit of a twang going?
A little
Tiny.
bit. A
It's
little
cheer.
bit. Like it's a point of difference for you to be an American over there. Do you know what I mean? To be an Australian,
Australian.
to
Yeah,
stand
yeah.
out. So don't lose your Aussiness.
No, noted. Well, I was there for
Just
6
throwing a
years,
crikey.
so yeah,
get it after
I'll
a
work
while.
on my crikeys. But I live with my now American wife, so that helps to keep me grounded
that's
with my
good.
American accent.
Oh, I've got one more quirky question, because I want to know if this is true. In the series, at the end of each year, they re-audition everyone, so everyone has to audition for their spot back.
Oh, wow.
How come?
Yeah.
Do you really have to give your uniform back after each year? You don't get to keep it. A, and B, do then they give it to someone else the year after?
No, surely
So
not.
the uniform is custom fit. It's custom designed to fit each girl, and so you do have to give it back when you go to re-audition. It's kind of like it's a little ceremony. Like I'm going to earn it back. It's in the mentality. You keep the standards high. It's that added pressure. It is a little brutal. Oh, I'm not going to lie. It's a bit of a terrifying process, but you work hard to earn your spot back, and then you get to celebrate it when you get your uniform back. And you do get your exact uniform given back to you when you make the team back.
You haven't had a scary thing like you come back from the off season, they give you your uniform back, you go, oh my God, it doesn't fit, and then they go, no, we actually swapped it. You got Lisa, sorry.
No.
But what if you don't make
No.
what if you don't make the team? Do they give it back to you then?
If you don't make the team, do you mean when you're auditioning, re-auditioning?
Yeah, if
Yeah.
they've taken your uniform off you, you go and re-audition, you don't make the team, which happens to people. There's tears
it's
everywhere.
gone.
Do you not get it back? Is that it? All done?
You don't get it back. That's
See?
it. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what
I think
happens
it's
to those? What
it
happens
keeps
to
it
those?
clean that way too. Yeah, because then there's no, there's kind of no awkwardness with.
Yeah. But so long,
Having
as,
a-
so long as no one's walking around with it, walking around in their home suits, putting
Yeah.
it on, that'd be like false valor.
Has anyone ever
Yeah,
stolen one,
exactly.
Janelle? Like if
That's
you've
what
just
bizarre.
jumped on
They
a
take it
plane
off
and
you.
gone back to Australia?
I don't think so, but I mean, we do
Oh,
get
you
to
don't. I reckon
keep
Janelle
parts
has,
of it, which is pretty cool.
What do you get? Sorry?
we get to like, so when I left, I was gifted. I did an all-star season, so that's like an additional year after you retire. And I actually stayed on as kind of an alternate in my 6th year. I performed a lot in that last year as girls were injured on the field, so I actually did a lot of the games in my 6th year. And in the Christmas show at the end of the year, I think you would have seen a little bit of the Christmas
Yep.
show in the Netflix series.
Love it.
I walked the VIP. I was in the show and walked the VIPs, like Jerry Jones and a few of the other footballers that came and were a part of that show. And so my role was to walk them and, do a little thing in that show with them. And they made a pair of the Lucchese boots that I wore on game day. They crystalled them, like completely crystalled them
Oh, wow.
for sequence. And so at the banquet at the end of that year, when I announced like my retirement, I was leaving, going home to Australia, they actually gifted them to me. So I got to go home with a pair of crystal Lucchese boots that are just,
nice.
really special and kind of my memorabilia from my time.
Oh,
well
good
done.
on you. Well done. Congratulations.
It's awesome. Been
Thank
awesome
you so
watching.
much.
America's Sweethearts, Dallas Cowboys Cheerleaders. It's on Netflix now, and it comes with a big recommendation from Suze. Thanks, Jinelle. Lovely to meet you.
Thank you so much. Same to you.
The Ash, Lutzi and Susie O'Neill podcast.